Dewberry underneath it, Francis got a touch, Leboeuf, Vialli couldn't turn, clumsy tackle, penalty given. Mike Reid has awarded a penalty to Chelsea. Kevin Francis looks in disbelief. He took the ball, but the referee has given a penalty.
Well, there's no question that he didn't go for the ball, and at worst, it was a simultaneous touch of the ball, at worst.
Oh, well, that, in the context of this occasion, could be a terrible decision. It looked from the replay a wrong decision, and now it's down to the goalkeeper. 21-year-old Elliot Jackson. Frank Leboeuf charged with the responsibility of saving Chelsea in the FA Cup. Oh, and he's done it. It's crept in. And Chelsea, thanks to the most fortuitous of refereeing decisions, are still in the FA Cup. And Oxford, unfairly, are down on their knees. Remember, Mike Reid is the referee who gave a penalty in equally controversial circumstances against Leicester City in a fifth-round tie in Chelsea's favour 2 years ago, and was widely castigated. And I have to say, although I hate to say it, that he has got it badly wrong here tonight. It will rank in FA Cup history alongside decisions like David Ellery's at Old Trafford when he denied Chesterfield a clear goal in a semi-final. Malcolm Shotton is livid. There are almost tears in his eyes. Tate, Remy, and now we have had the 4 minutes of time added on, and there is a stunned silence around the Manor Ground, the like of which you rarely experience in a sports stadium, one of disbelief. But Oxford have perhaps one last chance. Mike Reid, the central figure, for his award of a penalty. Leboeuf took advantage, and it's 1-1. With this perhaps the final attack of the match. If there was any justice in the world, then Oxford would capitalise. De Huy with the punch. Mike Reid looks at his watch. Remy. Paul Tate. We've now had 4.5 minutes of time added on. And Oxford look like a side that's taken a hammer blow to the chin. The one consolation is that a lucrative replay beckons. Remy with the throw. Babayara's header. Gilchrist towards Windass. Little struggle on the far post. The clearance by the goalkeeper. Referee still plays on. We're now in the 6th minute of time that he's decided to add. Surely that must be it. It is. And Malcolm Shotton's face tells the story of one of the great FA Cup injustices, of a penalty that shouldn't have been given but was awarded 3 minutes into stoppage time. It means, via Mike Reid's decision, that Chelsea live on in this season's FA Cup. Frank Leboeuf scored it. There are still arguments about the validity of the award, and instead of leaving to a wonderful ovation, Oxford and Chelsea leave the field amidst boos and shakes of the head of long-standing supporters. There is, of course, the consolation of a highly lucrative replay on Wednesday week at Stamford Bridge. Dean Windass's goal should have put Oxford through, but fate conspired against them. In financial terms, a good result, but they were so close to going through with one of their finest ever FA Cup victories.
Malcolm, you've had a chance to look again at the penalty incident. What is your view on reflection?
I think Kevin's took the ball. If he's come from behind, then you know you can understand the referee giving the penalty, but he's come from the side, he's took the ball, and in my view I don't think it's a penalty.
What was your thought at the time watching it with the naked eye?
I didn't think it was a penalty. No, I don't want to get myself into trouble with anybody, so you know, I want to see everything else before I make any comment.
The lads are disappointed. You know, they don't think it was a penalty, but no, Mike Reid was saying it was, and they said they'd give it at the other end. You know, so you got to sort of go with the referee's decision. You know, it's his decision on that, and that's fine.
You were the player that was tackled. Yeah. What would you say about the challenge?
I would say that was a very clumsy challenge because I couldn't do anything. I had my back to the goal, but that was definitely a penalty because I was caught on my left foot. So the referee spotted it and gave us a penalty. But looking at the game, overall I think they played better than us and they should have gone through.
I don't think we deserve to draw today. I think we play very bad. We didn't play very well against Coventry. We didn't play very well tonight. But we're still in the cup, so we have to play another game, and we'll see.
Well, a real choker for your old club, Oxford, Mark. But I mean, it was an outstanding performance and one full of spirit, wasn't it, from them?
Yeah, certainly. I think from the very first minute, and I thought Chelsea were very, very lackadaisical for most of the game and never really played with any great urgency until later on when they were chasing the game. But I think everything about Oxford was super tonight. You know, 11 heroes plus the substitutes. They were all obviously wanted it desperately, and we all wrote them off before the game, and yet they really did give Chelsea a real scare.
I mean, let's try and sort the penalty out. It's not the first time Mike Reid's been involved in a controversial FA Cup penalty decision. I remember it well, that one.
Well, I think it was 2 years ago, virtually to the day, of the fifth round replay at Stamford Bridge, and this is the incident. Spencer Pryor and Erland Johnsen, never a penalty at all. I was also at that game as well, Gary, and that obviously cost Leicester very, very dearly. And tonight's decision as well, very, very similar insofar as here comes a corner. It's actually Francis, the culprit in Mike Reid's eyes, who gets the touch to it. Back it comes in from Leboeuf, defended out, and it's a tackle from the side, from that angle. The referee, in fairness, is less than 10 yards away. Here we have a better view of it. He definitely plays and gets the ball there. Vialli wasn't even in control.
He said he hit his foot, Vialli, but he got the ball at the same time, didn't he?
Even if he hit his foot, I think he hit his foot and the ball at the same time. No penalty. Most definitely, Oxford were robbed.
Yeah. But I suppose financially it's not necessarily a bad thing. They've got to replay at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Perhaps Sheffield Wednesday fans will be the most...
Well, I think so. And I would love to know what the directors were thinking in the directors' box, the Oxford directors, thinking 1-0 up with a few minutes to go and thinking, well, you know, we're going to go to Sheffield Wednesday anyway. I suggest they might even make more money from the replay at Chelsea because of the ticket prices in London. So they will be delighted, and it may save them from selling another player. And you know, people like Dean Windass were told is the next to go to pay the wages again, and he might just have a stay of execution.
Well, there were some great performances from the Oxford players today, a lot of heroic performances, as you said, but you've picked out one man in particular.
Yeah, Mark Watson, a Canadian international, released by Watford a couple of years ago, and it's all about heroic defending. It's about throwing yourself in the way, whatever part of your body you can get in the way. That's the first instance when he blocks Vialli, and eventually Oxford get enough bodies around to make the clearance, and he was always aware in the last kind of 10 yards of the game exactly what he needed to do. Here as well, I mean, he almost stumbles and he just throws himself at the ball, and that actually came off him again. And I mean, it's heroic defending. He was lucky, probably fortunate not to get injured in that instance. This was his best, most definitely. Di Matteo in, cut in from the left-hand side, and he just launches himself across, and again he makes another block. I mean, 3 instances where it was last-ditch defending, but it was excellent.
What about Chelsea though, Mark? They've been on a mid-season break in Tenerife apparently, and it looked like they were still there, some of them.
They were still, I mean, certainly they were there in body, but I don't think they were there in mind. This is the goal, this is Windass's goal from the corner. Decent ball in, Windass gets the right side as far as he's concerned of Terry. Now we've circled the man at the far post. Now if you can't have one on each post, the rule is you have one on the near post. You don't have one on the far post. Chelsea have a man on the near post there, the goal doesn't go in. Windass does really well, just hits the target, but the man on the line on the post, which he should have been, he would just knock that into the crowd.
Yeah, but alas, it wasn't good enough. 6th injury time goal they've scored this season, Chelsea.